the past few years, I've been hiding a secret skill from everyone that I know. And frankly, even those that I don't know. I turn it on and off at will in the subtlest of ways, and they are none the wiser. During their interactions with me, they've had no idea that they've actually come into contact with an illusionist. But I'm not your typical master of deception. You won't find my audiences huddled around screens or celebrating at parties. In fact, they don't even know that they're an audience, and they're clueless as to when it comes to my artful performances. In this profession, I'm not supposed to give away the tricks of the trade, but I'll make an exception this time. I give you the big reveal. I am an introvert who uses my specific traits to trick our extrovert-friendly society into unwitting acceptance of my rare personality. At this point, you may be wondering what that even is and why it's oh so special. So let's back up a bit and get some context. To quell some of the misconceptions about introversion that are all over the internet, we are not shy, inhibited, distant, withdrawn, antisocial shut-ins who prefer to live alone rather than with others. An introvert is simply someone who draws energy from within themselves and is stimulated by quiet inner reflection. An extrovert is someone who draws energy from outside actions and is stimulated by things outside of themselves, including other people. That's it. That's the whole definition. It all boils down to just two things: stimulation and energy, where we get it from, how we use it, and ultimately, what we do with it. Now, the two terms were first coined by Carl Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst around the year 1921. Jung was a frequent collaborator with Sigmund Freud, so he was a pretty big deal. One of his greatest achievements to date was the classification of the two distinct terms, introversion and extroversion. He also proposed the idea that everyone moves through the world using four basic functions: sensation, intuition, feeling, and thinking. And that one of these traits is dominant in a particular person most of the time. About 2 years after Jung's book was translated to English, an American metrics tester brought the book, and she, along with her daughter, created the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator Test, also known as the MBTI test. It uses a four-letter identifier, with I or E being the most dominant, introversion or extroversion, followed by S or N, sensation or intuition, then F or T, feeling or thinking, and finally J or P, judging or perceiving. This unique character code tells each of us how we move through the world, which brings us to my personal archetype, INTP, introverted, intuitive, thinking, perceiving. I remember when I first took the Myers-Briggs test and exactly how I felt. It was like me on paper. Everything from working better alone or in groups to seeing big picture personalities, to thinking logically or analytically, to feeling open and flexible. It was me on paper. Here are some other INTPs that you might be familiar with: Albert Einstein, Marie Curie, Charles Darwin. Known as the logician or the thinker, we have certain traits that are unique from others, including our analytical prowess, our keen observation, and here's a big one, transparency, which is why I'm giving away all of my secrets today, apparently. The more I explore this revelation, though, the more I realize it's not just about us INTPs. There are 8 different types of introvert within those 16 personalities, each with their own strengths and talents. Why not do more than just move through the world, but why not call upon these traits to challenge it? And how could we do this? By reaching into our bag of tricks. The number 7 is often associated with completeness or perfection. There are 7 continents, 7 days of the week, 7 seas, 7 natural notes of sound, and many other patterns associated with the number. So today, we're going to take a look at 7 traditional magic tricks and equate them to introvert traits and how they can be adapted into our society's constraints. Number 1, the vanishing act. Making something disappear. On a small scale, the vanishing act is making a ball vanish in your hand or a coin behind someone's ear. But on a large scale, the illusionist presents an empty raised platform, and then they place an object inside that platform and drop a cover over a front, which can be a sheet or a screen or a curtain, just anything to conceal what's inside. After walking around in exaggerated showmanship, they remove that cover to reveal that poof, the object is gone. And if they really want to go the extra mile, they'll make it a person, and that person will show up somewhere totally different in the room. The introvert version of the ruse is the ability to slip away from social scenes like parties or concerts undetected. I base this on the guise of needing environmental needs like clothing or shelter or water. Attention becomes my platform, and I become the volunteer as I step on it and drop the cover to declare that it's really hot in here. I think I'm just gonna go get some air. Or I left my jacket in the car. I'm just gonna go run and grab it. Or I need to take this call, but it's so loud. I'll be right back. Number 2, levitation. This is a top-tier trick involving defying gravity. It's when the illusionist makes an object, usually themselves or another person, hover in the air before settling back down to earth. There's just something really appealing about going against nature. It's the opposite of our average grounded lives. In introvert world, it's being intentional about how I interact with strangers, recognizing that things can and will get awkward. And I developed the ability to lighten the mood by talking about things I'm extremely passionate about, giving genuine compliments, or showing interest in some unique components of their lives. Zeroing in on something we find fascinating is a common introvert trait. It will help us lift the atmosphere before having it settle back down into a place of ease, the opposite of awkwardness. Number 3, the great escape. This needs no introduction. It's when the illusionist is bound by restraints and locked inside an object of enclosure. The key here is to not only escape from the ties that bind you, but also that which is confining you. In introvert world, it is the equivalent to being cornered while networking or put on the spot during interviews. It's small talk or hearing the dreaded, "Tell me about yourself." It's our form of restriction, and it fastens the locks. The way to combat this is to slow down the conversation and talk about observations that I'm making in the moment, research that I conducted beforehand, or commonalities between myself and the other person that just pop up organically. Like, "No, I haven't seen that movie, but I've read the book. What did you think about the plots and the characters?" Or, "I love fusion food. Have you tried this new restaurant?" Number 4, the balancing act. This is more science than illusion. When performers walk a tightrope, they train to use their center of gravity and equilibrium to help them make it to the other side. They focus on a point ahead, and then they begin to walk. As an introvert, balance means approaching situations involving choices as open yet decisive. We are original thinkers who thrive on creativity and imagination. If those qualities are to our left, then resoluteness is to our right. Being committed and determined to a task and to see it through. When these are balanced and merged, it is the equivalent of us walking on the rope. Number 5, the art of misdirection. It's when an audience is so focused on a distraction that they don't really see what the illusionist is doing right in front of their eyes. We tell them to pick a card, any card, and they're so focused on the card that they avoid the deck and miss the trick. For introverts, when the pressure is on us, it helps to do things like have a visual aid during presentation, kind of like the one I have right now. An additional advantage of this is to showcase what we can do. If we're a tech genius or we're really good at art, then that visual aid will help in that situation. And number 6, linking rings. This is when the illusionist displays a set of rings, often spinning it around their wrists to demonstrate their solidity. And they clink it together and then eventually hook one ring onto the other, and the other rings follow, forming a daisy chain. The mental version of this trick uses intellect to link rings and make unique connections in the realm of ideas or projects. As introverts, our approaches are usually unique to things. I often think of things as backwards or approach it from another angle than those around me. This nonconformity is one way to help us make those connections that wouldn't be made without us. It helps us to link the rings. And number 7, mentalism. It's performing mental or intuitive illusions. The illusionist predicts the outcome beforehand based on human behavior. Examples include making predictions in the stock market or having hypnotic encounters during magic shows. It relates to personality because I use past behavior and probability to predict situational outcomes. This one really resonated with me, so I think we should try it. Okay, keeping in mind that you're going to use some basic math here. Pick a number between 2 and 9. If everyone has their number, multiply it by 9. You should get a 2-digit number. Now take those 2 digits and add them together. Does everyone have their number? Now subtract 5 from that number. And then you're going to match the number to a corresponding letter in the alphabet. For example, if your number is 2, B is the second letter in the alphabet. So it's going to be B. Everyone have their letter? Nice. And now think of a country that begins with that letter. And I'm taking suggestions here, so you can just shout it out. Denmark. Okay, I'm hearing a lot of Denmark, so let's go with that. Now take the second letter of that country and think of an animal that begins with that letter. Oh, and I was going to say, and imagine them together. And make some noise if this is what you thought of. Thank you. Should we go for one more? One more. Okay. Keeping in mind, once again, you'll have to do some basic math. Choose any number at all. Literally any number. And remember it because this will be your original number. Now add your original number with the next consecutive highest number. For example, if your number was 1, 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 is your new number. Everyone have it? Okay, now add 9 to your new number. After adding 9, the next step is to divide by 2. Whatever number you have is your magic number. The last step is to subtract your original number from your magic number. Are you thinking of the number? And make some noise if this was your number. Thank you. That's how you can turn introvert traits into illusions. Now you see me as I let my personality shine through in all of my INTP glory. And now you don't, as I slip on my adaptive costume and shift the true nature of who I really am, concealing the mechanisms that would give me away. Introverts. There's nothing wrong with being our amazing selves, but there's also no shame in picking up an extra skill set to let others into our cool kids club. This has and always will be an extroverted world. But don't forget that we have advantages too that can help us not only to survive in it, but thrive in it. For my last trick, I will end one of the coolest TED Talks I'm sure you've ever seen. We're going to count to 3 on this one. Are you ready? Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.